look at the unemployment rate, especially among the youth in Nigeria, and that takes a mind back to, an old school tradition which should be touched up or has been touched up. But first of all, look at Nigeria's employment status. According to the World Bank and the International Labour Organization, youth unemployment, that's for youth between 15 and 24 years, stands at 8.6%. Youth not in employment, education or training stands at 13.7%. Overall unemployment rates, of course, there's been a lot of controversy around the unemployment rates given by the NBS, and that's why a lot of people don't talk about it anymore. But overall employment rate, according to World Bank and International Labour Organization, is 5%. Combined unemployment and time-related underemployment is 17.3%, and informal employment 92.3%. So the informal employment is what catches our attention, which is why we are reaching out to a professor who says that there's a system that could help us mop up this unemployment data or number that we see. He did his presentation, I believe it was last week, his lecture last week, and that's the professor of management at Nnamdi Azikiwe University in Awka, Anambra State, Professor Chinedu Igbo, joins us virtually from Awka. Prof, good morning. Welcome to the program. Your lecture has become very popular, even though we've heard of the term, long before now. I think there's even a movie that was done from it, but putting it together as a lecture obviously has caught a lot of attention.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me.
So this Nwaboy, obviously it's a tradition mostly practiced by the Igbo people, but I believe it's been touched up now to be adopted even in schools, in universities.
Yeah, that's why Nnamdi Azikiwe wants to take the lead. This Igbo apprenticeship scheme is a homegrown business model where Nwaboy, which we call the apprentice, live and work with Oga, which we call the master. At the end of the training, at the end of the deposition agreement, money will be given to the Nwaboy, and then they will be given goods in exchange for the labor. And this training is done at no cost. That is the most interesting part of it. At no cost, zero cost. The cost of training is zero. So, and this Igbo scheme has been neglected over a very long period of time. That's why in my inaugural lecture, we find ways to formalize and then modelize the Igbo scheme.
How do we formalize it and adopt it into our private education system, so that it's not just about that people do not go to school and they just stay with people? How do we package it so that it fits into what we have in our education system?
Okay, thank you. The Anambra State government has already taken the lead by enacting Igbo's law in 2025. Although there are still some flaws and limitations, which our research at Nnamdi Azikiwe University have done justice to that. First one, we have to reduce the tenor, the contractual agreement, which is normally now, which is 5 to 7 years. We find a way to reduce it. Then another one is being dominated by males. That's why we introduce a concept we call evangel, where our women will also be involved in this Igbo apprenticeship. And we introduce a model we call apprenticeship, blend of apprenticeship and entrepreneurship, where, this scheme is associated with low esteem. We want to discard that low esteem. That's why we introduce the model apprenticeship, which we call Nkwado Ogaranya. What does greatness. So we need to restart that low esteem. And we also formulated a model where this scheme will run concurrently with formal education. We have to structure it in a way where it should run concurrently with formal education. At the end of the program or the scheme, these apprentices will be certified, given certificate, short-term certificate on the skills or the traits they have acquired or they have learned. And then we also find a way of introducing technology into it and focusing on high demand sector like the ICT, artificial intelligence, all these things. And we also need to involve the financial institutions. That's the proposal we are currently writing. We want the capital market players to be involved in this scheme. Find a way where this scheme has been funded from the capital market through crowdfunding or venture capital. And the other financial institutions should also be involved, because the burden lies on only the master, where the master takes the burden. And at the end of the day, what about at the end of the training? The master maybe has a problem on the way. What happens to the fate of human boy? That's why government institutions need to be involved. The governments need to be, and calling on the SMETA and calling on the SED, other government institutions, Ministry of Youth, they should come and partner with our University. Was what established apprenticeship pretty much more in our university, where these trainings will go. And remember, this scheme is the world's largest incubator of SMEs. So it can reduce unemployment in Nigeria by 70%. But we need the cooperation of the government and other government financial institutions and other stakeholders to make this happen.
All right, Prof, you said it's already been adopted and there's a law for it in Anambra State. Have they started practicing it? Could you give us an idea of how it's working, if they have started practicing it?
Okay, the law was enacted in 2025, but the government has not, they established Anambra State Igbo Commission, Apprenticeship Commission. That's a commission that will handle that. It is not yet functional. And in that law, the rights of human boy are clearly stated there. The rights of the master are clearly stated there. Because there are always disputes arising from this contractual agreement. There are laws are provided to settle those disputes that may arise from this contractual agreement. So the law is there. Please, we are calling on Anambra State government to quickly reactivate these steps. But we can't wait again, because this unemployment, you have unemployment in Nigeria. And the SMEs, remember, SMEs contribute from 10 to 50% to our national GDP. So what this scheme must become functional. So we have refined the model. The model we did a lot of research. One of the greatest research ever done in the world, and the Harvard Business School recognizing that. So we need, I don't know where government, we need to start.
All right, Prof. All right, Prof, and that's one of the reasons we're having this conversation on Business Morning, so more people would know about it and perhaps buy into the idea. But Prof, thank you so much, and we hope you will continue pushing the message across beyond Anambra State, to other parts of Nigeria. Professor of Management at Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Professor Chinedu Oyuzugbe, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, and I hope you will take the lead. Invite me more so that we spread the gospel. Thank you very much.
All right, Prof. You're welcome.